My name is Chandni Ahuja and I'm the head of an NGO called Raindrops Foundation. My experience of working in this field and engaging with people in this sector has taught me a lot of things, some of which I would like to share with you today in a hope to offer you an alternative perspective and something to ponder about. So, one thing that sets us apart from the other organizations working in this field is that we don't fetishize poverty and tragedy and take donations out of it. So it's become a sort of a convention for NGOs and organizations to use pictures of sad and malnourished children with captions like "donate now to save his life." You wouldn't see that ever on our social media because we believe in empathy and not sympathy, and commodifying poverty and monetizing that and taking donations, even if it's for a good use, on someone's pictures like that just doesn't seem ethical to me. So a lot of my personal beliefs have also percolated down my volunteers, and I remember telling them after one of the puppet shows that we conducted for slum children that treat your beneficiaries the way you would like to be treated. Because I remember after this puppet show we did a donation drive, and the pictures that I saw painted this scene which made the children look very needy and our teammates, my volunteers, look very heroic. There were also pictures of close-ups of preteen girls, which I, as a media student, believed was an invasion of their privacy and could also be seen from a voyeuristic angle. So, since I asked them, would it be okay if somebody clicked pictures of your daughter and you saw them surface on the internet? And they said, no, we never thought about it that way. So that's what I made them understand, that if you wouldn't like pictures of your daughter being circulated on the internet like that, then what makes you think you have the right to do that with someone else's daughter? And why I'm emphasizing on daughter is not because I believe that I'm a proud feminist and I wouldn't differentiate between the privacy of sons and daughters, but we have to accept that the notion of honor that is associated with women in India is far more, and the repercussions that they would have to face if their families saw certain pictures surfacing online would be harsher than the repercussions the sons would have to face, and I wouldn't want to be responsible for that as the head of an organization. And that is why that is something I very strictly prohibited, that no pictures on Raindrop social media would have close-ups of preteen girls or ladies without their consent. If they are happy to be included in our pictures, and that is something we will obviously do, because at the end of the day we are living in this age of social media where you have to put everything online if you have to be noticed and if you want your organization to flourish and exist and get donations. So we have to follow certain norms, and we do put up pictures, but there are a lot of guidelines that I put after that show to ensure that no one's privacy is ever hindered, and that no picture ever surfaces online without the consent of the subject of the picture. So thankfully, we never had to meet with any criticism for any of our operations, but one thing that received a certain level of skepticism or a negative response was our idea of Raindrops Shop, which was inspired from this initiative called Neki Ki Dukaan in Ludhiana, which was basically a shop that allowed people to buy anything for 10 rupees. So the items in the shop were donated, and the actual cost of these items was far more than what it was sold for. The idea ensured that the buyers still have their self-respect intact as compared to if they were given that in donation. So what we believe in as an NGO is that we try to help people help themselves. The idea is to look at them like people and not poor people. So we met with certain responses like, how can you charge poor people for something you could give them for free? But that is exactly the idea. So, like, I remember this one instance where when we did this, when we opened the shop, and there was this rickshaw puller who came and he got 3 suits for his wife. And the look on his face of purchasing this gift for his wife, even though he knew it was old, but since we had kept it in a good condition and we had the person who had given it was good enough to get it dry cleaned and give it to us, and we kept it in these bags and he could come and choose, and he stood in line to pay for it. That is in contrast to how a donation drive is conducted. So the happiness on his face of purchasing something for his wife with his hard-earned money was that happiness that I saw on his face was something that I'd never seen in any donation drive, and we've conducted more than 50 donation drives till now. And that is why I believe that this concept of empathy is much better than the idea of sympathy, even though a lot of people believe that poor people would just be happy if you give them something for free because they're used to getting freebies and not working. Of course, there are exceptions, but I believe that if people in the social service sector and the donors change their attitude towards this and create opportunities for them to feel more included and just bridge this gap between poor people and people, then we would be able to do more justice as NGOs and social service organizations.